Hello students, I am Anjum Sheikh. In previous video, we have studied about crop production management. Under crop production management, we have discussed about nutrient management, which includes manures, fertilizers, as well as organic farming. Then we have also discussed about the irrigation techniques. In this video, we are going to study about the cropping patterns and the crop protection management. Here you can see the different cropping patterns of India. The different ways of growing crops can be used to give maximum benefit. So the different cropping patterns used in India are: first, mixed cropping, intercropping and crop rotation. These are the three main cropping patterns which are used in our country. So the first pattern is mixed cropping. Now what is meant by mixed cropping? It is growing up two or more crops simultaneously on the same piece of land without any row arrangement. It is called as mixed cropping. Means the seeds of two crops or more crops, these are just mixed together and then these are sown on the same piece of land. So it is called as the mixed cropping. The examples of crops which are grown under mixed cropping are wheat and gram, wheat and mustard, groundnut and sunflower. Now what is the benefit of mixed cropping? This technique reduces risk and gives some insurance against failure of one of the crops. Suppose wheat and gram, these are grown under mixed cropping. Due to some reason, farmers do not get any benefit from wheat crop, then he can get benefit from the gram crop. Here you can see the example of mixed cropping. Seeds are randomly mixed together, so the harvesting becomes comparatively difficult in case of the mixed cropping. The second type is intercropping. Now what is the difference between mixed cropping and intercropping? In mixed cropping, the seeds are mixed randomly, there are no separate rows. But in case of intercropping, there is growing of two or more crops simultaneously on the same field in a definite pattern. Here you can see there are separate rows for the separate crop plants. The crops are selected on the basis of different needs of nutrients. The crops are selected in such a way that their nutrient requirements are different. A few rows of one crop alternate the few rows of another crop. So in this technique, harvesting becomes comparatively easier. This also ensures the maximum utilization of the nutrients supplied and it prevents the spread of pests, insects, etc. from one plant to another, because these pests as well as these insects, these are crop specific. See the examples of crop which are grown under intercropping are soybean and maize, finger millet, that is bajra and cowpea. These are grown together. Now due to intercropping method, there is maximum utilization of the nutrients supplied. So this is the more beneficial technique for the farmers. Both crops can give the better returns to the farmers. Here you can see some of the examples of intercropping. Coconut trees along with the flowers. So farmers can get double benefit in the intercropping method. Now third technique is crop rotation. Depending on the duration, crop rotation is done for different crop combination. The growing of crops on a same piece of plant in a pre-plant succession, it is called as crop rotation. Here you can see, for example, first time leguminous crops are grown. Leguminous means the crops which bear pods. These are called as leguminous crops. For example, peas, beans, etc. These are the leguminous crops. So first leguminous crops are grown, so they enrich the soil with nitrogen. then crops such as wheat are grown. After wheat, after wheat, cotton crop is grown. Means on the same piece of land, two or more different crops are grown in the pre-plant succession. If crop rotation is done properly, then two or three crops can be grown in a year with good harvests. See the benefits of crop rotation. It helps to benefit the crop fertility. Fixed and recaptured nutrients. We have discussed that wheat crops require more amount of nitrogen. So if continuously wheat plant is grown on the same piece of land, then the fertility of soil will be reduced. Then farmers will have to use the chemical fertilizers, which is harmful for the environment. Then what is the eco-friendly way? It is crop rotation. In crop rotation, after wheat crop, leguminous crops are grown. Leguminous crops have capacity to fix the atmospheric nitrogen, so they can replenish the soil with nitrogen. It also helps to improve the soil structure. Cover crops are also useful. See, pest management. Pests are specific to the crops. So if the alternate crops are grown, then it helps to break the parasitic life cycle. Now what are cover crops? These are the grasses, legumes and other crops, other fobs. Fobs means the herbaceous flowering plants. These are called as the fobs. So these are planted for erosion control, improving soil structure, moisture and nutrient content, increasing the beneficial soil biota, suppressing weeds, providing habitat for beneficial predatory insects. It also facilitates crop pollinators. Means these cover crops are very useful for the soil. Here you can see the picture of the cover crops. So they act as a green manure. Now next very important step is crop protection management. Field crops are infested by a large number of weeds, insects, pests and diseases. If weeds and pests are not controlled at the appropriate time, then they can damage the crop so much that most of the crop is lost. So the first enemy of crops are weeds. What are weeds? Weeds are the unwanted plants growing in the cultivated fields. Now how these weeds are harmful to the crops? These weeds compete with the main crop plant for food, space and light, etc. They take up the nutrients, so they reduce the growth of the crops. So for the good harvest, removal of weeds is very essential. Here you can see some of the examples of the weeds. First one, this is known as xanthium, or in local language it is known as gokhru. This is known as parthenium or gajar ghas. Then one more example of weeds is Cyperinus rotundus, that is motha. Now we have discussed that weeds are harmful. So these weeds should be controlled, or this should be removed on the time. So weed control method include mechanical removal. Mechanical removal includes, first is removal by hands, second one is removal of weeds by using the agricultural instruments such as trowel or khurpi. So by mechanical methods weeds can be removed. First way is removal of weeds by hand, second the removal of weeds by using trowel or khurpi. Then other way of controlling the weeds is spraying of weedicides. Weedicides. What are weedicides? These are the chemicals which kill the weeds. So when weedicides are sprayed on the crop field, only weeds get killed. It doesn't affect the crop plants. Insect pests are also the enemies of the crop plants. They attack the plants in three ways. First way is they cut the root, stem and leaf of the plants. Second way is they suck the cell sap from various parts of the plants. Third way is they bore into stem and fruits. Insect pests affect the health of crops and reduce the yields. Here you can see these pests, these are boring into the stem of the crop. Here you can see the condition of leaves due to the insect pests. These insect pests, they feed on the leaves, so they reduce the photosynthetic capacity of the plant because they attack on the leaves. Here also you can see how these beetles are damaging the leaves of the plants. Here you can see the picture of some pests of the maize. For example, maize cobworm, then beet armyworm, rootworm adult, armyworm and wireworm beetle. So these are the pests of maize. Diseases in plants. These are also responsible for reduction in the crop yield. The diseases in plants are caused by three different agents. First are fungi, second bacteria and third viruses. Here you can see the condition of leaf due to fungal attack on the plant. So it reduces the yield of the crops. Then bacterial diseases. Here you can see the condition of grapes due to bacterial diseases. Then viral diseases in plants. They also affect the quality of leaves, stem, fruits, etc., reducing the yield of the crops. So these plant diseases can be controlled by spraying herbicides, insecticides and fungicides. Herbicides, these are the chemicals which help to control the herbs, that is grasses, weeds, etc. Then insecticides, they kill the insects, and fungicides, they control the fungal infection in the plants. Now very important step in crop production is storage of grains, because storage of grains should be done properly. If the grains are not stored carefully in the proper way, then there will be storage losses. Storage losses in agriculture produce can be very high. Some of the factors which are responsible for storage losses are biotic factors, means living factors. So these biotic factors include insects, rodents, that is rats and mice, fungi, mites and bacteria. These are the biotic factors which are responsible for the loss of the grains. Then abiotic factors are inappropriate moisture and temperature. If at the storage place, if the storage place is moist, then fungi may grow on the grains. If there is inappropriate temperature, then also there will be the loss in the quality of grains. These factors cause degradation in quality, loss in weight, poor germinability, discoloration of produce. So it leads to the poor marketability, means in such cases there will be loss to the farmers. So these factors can be controlled by proper treatment and by systematic management of the warehouses. So first, after threshing, the grains are dried in sun and then these are packed. These grains are carefully dried in the sun so that all the moisture gets removed. You know that generally fungi, bacteria grow in the food materials which have more moisture content. The food material which contain more moisture content are easily perishable. That's why grains are dried carefully before storage. Then farmers store food grains in jute bags or metallic bins. Large scale storage of the grains is done in silos and granaries, and then these are stored in the godowns. At domestic level, dried neem leaves can be used to store the crop plants. Here you can see the picture of granaries. The grains are properly dried, then these are packed with the jute bags, and then these are stored in the granaries or silos. In such granaries, the pest control is done. Before storage, there is fumigation. using chemicals in done. So, grains can be stored in such granaries for longer duration without any damage. So, this was about the food protection management. In next video, we will discuss about animal husbandry.